I'm delighted to say we're joined by the five-time champion of the world, Raymond van Barneveld. Thanks for the time, Raymond. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. In Scotland at the moment for an exhibition. Yesterday I landed in Edinburgh airport, and tonight we do an exhibition in Stirling with Robert Thornton, John Henderson, Daryl Gurney. It was a great night last night, so tonight another night, and then I fly Sunday to Birmingham and take a taxi to Leicester for Monday and Tuesday Pro Tours.
Yeah, a busy time, and for our listeners, we're talking on this Saturday morning, so we appreciate you taking some time out, and we're just 1 week away now from the start of the World Matchplay. For the first time since 2018, you're going to be in the lineup, so how are you feeling ahead of that return to the Winter Gardens?
Yeah, I'm over the moon with it, only small steps, but last year it went fantastic with the qualifications of 9 out of 10 Euro Tours. One event I was lucky I was on a reserve list for Risa, which I got to the second round. In Holland I was automatically qualified because of ranking, and I did pretty good. I think it's very hard to qualify for the World Matchplay if you're not playing a lot of Euro Tours. Mike de Decker did great, he did it all on the Pro Tours, but if you can combine that with doing well on the European Tour, yeah, it's getting even better. And I'm over the moon with qualification for the match play, the European Championship. I think it's in October in Dortmund. I think I'm pretty much qualified for that as well. And also looking good for the World Grand Prix in Leicester later this year. So what can I say? There are small steps, I have to be honest. It's not like I'm going semis or finals all the time or quarters, but I'm getting more confidence, and it looks good at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely does. Things are going well on this comeback, if you like, for you after you took that break away from the game. And we had your former manager, Jacko, on as a guest of our podcast a few years ago, and he talked about that final year that you had and the decision to retire. You wanted to be a bit more relaxed, but it kind of had the opposite effect. You felt that the pressure to perform for everyone in that last year. So how challenging was that last year?
The last year when I announced I'm going to do another year, and then that's it. I was in a very difficult position. I was in divorcing my wife. I had private problems a lot, and I couldn't focus on the darts anymore. The traveling, the handle with defeats. I wasn't a nice man around me. Everyone knows me when I lose a match. Don't come near me because I want to be left alone. So, and that was happening more and more and more. And at that time, I was dropping out the top 32. So Jacko said to me, be aware that if you continue, you have to play a lot of Pro Tours again. And those tournaments don't suit you. It's early, you don't like it. I said, what can we do? Yeah, maybe give up, So I was in a bit of a shock at the time. And I said, me giving up, darts is my life, right? But at the time, it was maybe the right decision. It was getting too much for me, and I played, and I never won anything anymore. So, but then Corona came, and I had my farewell night at the AFAS Arena in Holland and Amsterdam on I think it was February the 8th in 2020 or 2019, I'm not sure. But then Corona came, and for months I stayed with Julia in London, who lived at the time in London still. Nothing to do, I was bored, and I'm thinking, is this it, no exhibitions because of Corona, they couldn't go ahead. And then in August, I remember this very well. I was in town with Julia in The Hague, and I met Iwe again, my former coach, and he's working for my sponsor, Ben de Kok of Benji. They're doing ship vessels and engines, and I turned to keep me all over the world. So and he said, "What you must do, Ray, you need to get your tour card back." I said, Iwe, don't get silly to me. I just gave up. I will be a laugh, And he said, so what? What are your options then? He said, you're in the middle of a divorce. You don't know how that goes. What can you do? You have no exhibitions. You have no sponsors anymore because you don't play darts anymore. I said, yeah, you have a really good point, right? So then I decided quick what to do, because it was September back then, and getting your tour card in January, because if you don't get your tour card, you do nothing for a whole year, right? Because you can't stream in the tournaments organized by the PDC, because you need a tour card. So we spoke to my manager, Ben de Kock, and sponsor, and he said, I'm going to give you a 3-year deal and show us what you can. And, from that point of view, we practiced almost every single day, and got my tour card back in February. And after 3 tournaments, I won a Pro Tour. So it went well since. And then I had some health issue problems. I collapsed one day I think it was in Milton Keynes. So I had to recover from that, and that year went not so well. Last year I only qualified for 3 out of 13 Euro Tours, and this year 9 out of 10 so far. So the determination is back, the will to win is back. I love the game. I'm in good health at the moment. I have a fantastic life with my girlfriend Julia. We're gonna marry this year in Cyprus, so I'm a really happy guy at the moment. And I think if you can be really happy, you can do all and everything you can. As long as you believe in things, and that's what I do. Sometimes you don't need to play really well to still accomplish your targets. I always say to myself, my target is the World Championship. Another target is qualifying for the the Grand Slam. I did that 2 times on a row, because my head says to me, we're going to do this no matter what. And if you believe in things, you can accomplish a lot. And sometimes you don't even have to play really good A games. But you can do whatever you want if you put the effort and the power and the will in. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you're in a good place now, and you covered a lot of those last few years. One of the things I wanted to talk about was being back in the World Championship. It's the biggest tournament in darts, and after your first game back in that tournament, you said it was a privilege to be back. So what was it like being back at Ali Pali, where you'd had that, what many thought was going to be the heartbreaking end to your career, but you were back there and on a high again?
Yeah, last year was good. I came top 32 against, but then if you're 32, you will meet the next round Gerwin Price, and Gerwin was played absolutely fantastic. And it was not my night. I didn't play my A game, and against players like that, top 4, top 8 in the world, you always know you need to play your A game. Otherwise, you can shake hands. The year before, it was a really strange year with people pulling out, because of the COVID. Michael van Gerwen pulled out, Vincent van der Voort pulled out, Dave Chisnell pulled out. After my match against Rob Cross, I was leading 1-0, got beat 3-1. I didn't feel great myself. The next morning I had Corona. So it was a really difficult time. So that World Championship, I always will say that World Championship was never hold, the person who won. I think he was lucky that a lot of other players who got COVID, they were always competitors for the title as well. So, but last year, I was playing really well. Got semi-finals in the Grand Slam of Darts, beating Gerwin Price twice, and that felt good. Michael Smith won it last year, and he won the Worlds. He's an amazing player, and top,
You mentioned Gerwin Price beating him twice in the Grand Slam. I wanted to mention that as well, because it was a brilliant run from yourself last year. What did that run mean to you, being involved in the final day of a major again?
Yeah, well, what happens was, I played him first in the group in a best of 9. If you have a good night and you beat the world number 1 at the time, Gerwin Price, then you can say, well, fair play. It's a good game. Okay. But beating him in a best of 31 legs is something else, I'm pretty sure Gerwin must have thought, Ray is a bit of older in age, maybe not in his best fitness. He doesn't play many major tournaments anymore, so I will get him out. And I think I played really good. I beat him 16. I don't know anymore, 16 something. But I think that was a shock and a warning for the rest of the world that I showed that I could still do this. Even against Michael Smith, the later winner, I had a good game. I think he beat me 16-12 or something. But I missed crucial darts to equal at 13 each. Instead of 13 each, it became 14-12. Yeah, then he started with a 180. That was me going. So I'm looking back really proud on the Grand Slam, which took me in the top 32 in the world, which was very good. Yeah.
Well, we spoke with someone else that you know very well, Jeffrey Desmond, a few months ago on the show. You practiced with him regularly. You mentioned your age there. He said you might now be playing better than ever. So just a word on Jeffrey, because we can see he's an immensely talented player. He got his tour card back this year after losing it. How much potential do you think he has?
He has so much potential, so much. I think he can be equal as Michael van Gerwen. His throw is so natural. Is so easy. He has the same abilities as Michael van Gerwen. Also on the 19s, his cover shot on the 19s is so good. Jeffrey needs to clear his head out. Maybe he's too much busy with working and stress. I don't know. So I see he's missing a lot of doubles, which is unnecessary. You know, if he believes in it, I always say to him, put goals, you know. You need to tell me what are your goals. You got your tour card back. What are your goals this year? And he never speaks about his goals. You know, speak up. You know, just say, okay, Ray, I want to go this year for my tour card back. Once I accomplish that, my goal is to play the World Championship after 3 years again. That's a goal, you know, and focus on your goal every single week. I do that still, even. I almost play 40 years of darts right now. I still set up goals for myself, you know. I want to play this, I want to play that, I want to play the Grand Slam again this year, I want to play the Worlds. And step by step, you can accomplish these goals, but you need to set them up. Otherwise, you're playing for nothing, you know. You're just playing for prize money, and I don't think that can be the thing. Yeah, and look forward. But he has an amazing style, an amazing throw. But for the last 2 or 3 years, I'm seeing he's going down mentally, and maybe it's a good advice for him to find some help. You know, Dirk van Duivenbode did with a mental coach. And for some people it can help. It never ever worked for me because to me, they can say whatever they want. These mental coaches, but at the end they can say, believe in yourself, do this, do that, but they never stop that your opponents keep on hitting 11, 12, 13 and 14 and 50 darters against you, right? So you need to handle it yourself. You have to stand up and believe in yourself, and when it goes bad, you work harder. You know, a month ago I was playing in Leicester 2 Pro Tours, and I got beat in both days, first round. So the next day, I went to my office. I went practicing in the afternoon. I went practicing in the evening for 2-3 days. Yeah, and then I go for the first time in Sindelfingen on a Euro Tour. I qualified for the Sunday again. It's all about focus. It's all about belief and work harder. If you're not good enough, work harder. Stand up, go back to the practice board and work harder. Make an effort out of it. And then you can live with yourself better because now it's getting even better. You know, I got to the quarterfinals for a long time. I got beat by Joe Cullen, but it was a good game. It's survival of the fittest in these Euro Tours. You play a Friday night game, you play a Saturday night game, and then on Sunday they expect you to play 4 games on the spin. You have to be in really good shape. You know, you have to get energy, and you see in the later matches that the averages are dropping because everyone is tired. So you need to stand up, go to the gym, and work better. That's what I'm going to do right now, because I notice that with my age, 56, playing against these young kids like Joe Cullen and Luke Humphries, for instance, you know, they're going to defeat you easy because they have a longer stamina.
Definitely. Well, you touched on goals there. That brings us nicely on to our next question. We've got a few questions from our listeners before we let you go. And the first one comes from Richard. He says, what's the ultimate goal of Barney's comeback? Win another major, make the world's top 10, getting back into the World Cup team? I'd love to know what Ray's biggest ambition is that he's working towards.
That's a very good question. I won many TV tournaments. Of course, it's a dream to win another title one day. And far out the best is winning, of course, a World Championship title. If that still is going to happen, I don't know. I have to work harder. But I set a goal this year. I want to be in the top 16 of the Pro Tour Order of Merit, because the Pro Tour Order of Merit guarantees you in every 13 out of the Euro Tours, you know what I mean? So once if you're in the top 16 of that Euro Tour Order of Merit, that means that every Euro Tour you're qualified, and you can jump in and stream in on the Saturday night. So you don't have to play qualifications anymore back in England, you know. So that's another day. It costs energy. You don't need to play on a Friday nights anymore. And as long as you in the top 16 of that Pro Tour Order of Merit, and you stay in that Pro Tour Order of Merit for the next year, then that means you're qualified for all these major tournaments, like the World Matchplay, like the Grand Prix, like the European Championship. And you see that is so important, because then your face is back on TV. So my goal is from now and the next year is try to get in that top 16. But you need to play really good darts, because now you still have to qualify. And every Saturday night, if you come through the first round, there is a top 16 player waiting on you. And that could be Michael van Gerwen, which I got twice. I got Gerwin Price once. I got Ryan Searle twice. I got Dimitri Vandenberg. And you know the same as me that you need to play your A game to beat these guys. So for me, my goal the next season is aim for top 16 Pro Tour Order of Merit. And if you win your matches, say on a Saturday night, you go straight to £4,000 every single tournament. Say if you do that 7-8 times out of 13, well, you're looking at 30 grand then, 32 grand, which make your position in that top 16 even stronger. And the following year, you will be in the top 16 again. So that means that you don't need to qualify, and you're playing more on these big major tournaments.
That's a good goal to have. And CJ Baker has got two questions. What is your advice for young darts players, and what are your practice routines? And he says, sending lots of love to Raymond and his family.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I always say to everyone, first make a step. If you can play a good game, try to think where you want to be from here in the next 3 to 5 years. If you want to hang out with your friends, you know, don't let me judge you. Do it, you know. But if you want to be a really good professional player, well, trust me, there is no much time left for you, because you need to cancel all your friends' birthdays or families or weddings or whatever, because you're in the plane or in the train or in the taxi or in your hotel room all the time. And you have to go for that. You can't go and playing the tour and thinking, okay, I will do this for 2 years. Maybe I could pick up some prize money and have a good living. No, put your goals out. You know, say from here, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to qualify for this, I want to go for that, and set up goals every single time. And believe in yourself. Believe in what you do. And if you're a really good player, look at the likes of Josh Rock, Luke Humphreys. They are amazing. Look what Josh Rock did in one and a half year time. He puts himself on the number 1 position in the top 16 of the Pro Tour Order of Merit. I just said to you what that means. You know, he's in every TV tournament and every major, and no one wants to draw him. You know what I mean? And this guy is getting even better and better. So make your dreams come through. I was a postman. I was a carpenter. I was a postman. I was dreaming of a dart career. And when I was in the 80s and in the 90s, and everyone says, you have no balls, you know, when it's a tough moment you will miss crucial doubles. And I did, but I learned from it, and I stand up like old Rocky, you know, like Rocky Balboa. He lost games, but he stand up and fight even harder the next morning. And you practice harder. That's what you do. because you want to be a professional dart player. All the players who are in the top 10 or in the top 20 in the world, they practice every single week. You can't say, I don't practice for a week or whatever, I'm not in the mood to go right now. This is your job. This is what you do. And trust me, if you be good at it, you can earn some good money and give your wife and family and a really good life. But yeah, you're in the plane, you're traveling every single week. That's the opposite.
Yeah, there's a lot of sacrifices there. And our last question that we've got from our listeners, we should give you a bit of background. We're big fans of Coach Stompe on this show, and George Dobson wants to know, is Coach Stompe your best friend?
No, I don't have best friends in darts. At the end, you must realise that we also are competitors and each other's opponents, right? So we hang out together, you know. Me and Co always fine, you know. We had some issues and we had some fun. That's happening with all and everyone. Sometimes you have issues with players. Sometimes you go along fine. Some players I always hang out with is Vincent van der Voort. He's an amazing guy. I always team up with Jeffrey de Swan. And some others you never have contact with. So friends in darts, yeah, I think there are friendships in darts like Michael van Gerwen and Vincent van der Voort. And if you look, if they're playing each other, they always find it hard to beat each other because they're friends. I don't want to be involved in that, you know. On the board, you're my enemy, and no matter if we go out good times or bad times, I don't care. At the moment, and that's something you have to feel inside you know, and then after the match you can be friends again or hang out together, that's no problem. But friends in darts, I think it's a big word. I don't think there are many friendships in darts. People hang out with each other. I think Joe Cullen and Devin Peterson hang out good, you know. Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of friendship. You just see each other like you're going to your job, you know, yeah. And with some people on your job, say if you got an office job, with some people, you hang out for a beer later. And with some others, you think, I must have thinking about it, you know, and then you leave them alone. And this is how this is in darts goes as well. Some people hang out and some people don't.
That's fair enough. Well, Raymond, it's been a pleasure to chat to you. We appreciate you taking out some of your time this weekend to have a chat, and we wish you all the best with that World Matchplay return and what else is to come this year as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And for next time, if you want to have a chat, give me a text and no problem.